Good morning. So it's 1992. I'm in Inverness, and I got my first demonstration of virtual reality. The conference is all about Convergence, and it was organised by British Telecom and Highlands and Islands and the Inverness City Council, in a sense with a similar need, perhaps, that Macclesfield is trying to discover within the region right now. At that point, telecommunications industries and computing were really trying to see how they could kind of make things happen into the future. And of course, some years later, all of us are enjoying mobile computing. And that, in a sense, a lot of the kind of utopianism around new media has faded away. And I'd like to kind of ask a big question, but also want to just suggest a few ways that we might go forward and make things better. So, we are incredibly efficient as humans. We've got a number of natural skills that we employ on a day-to-day basis. And of course, a few people are writing notes or tweeting or doing Facebook, I don't know. But definitely I managed to come from the station here directly using Google Maps in a trusting fashion. So we become more efficient, more effective as we basically use prosthetics to enhance our human nature. And it also means that we can become more effective and productive in the workplace. To the point, of course, which I don't know sometimes whether I'm working or playing. And certainly in terms of the history of the 8-hour day, really things have become very ambiguous, especially across time and space. And that's something which really interests me very deeply, going back to the invention of the 8-hour day in 1856. Because until that point, people would just keep working and working and working. And I think that we have to, within the furore of all the possibilities and opportunities, we need to be thinking about why we're working, what for, and how we can maintain reflective space to think about the world and our relationship to it, and especially in relationship to younger people and children. Because I've got teenage girls, and they live within their phone environment, and it's not that it's bad for them; it just is. So we've kind of accepted pretty much everything about technology being part of us. And of course, in terms of Macclesfield, which I've just been to Marks and Spencer's to buy some dry socks, and fairly strange mood in there because there is a rumour that Marks and Spencer's might close. A lot of people have probably worked there for a number of years as apprenticeships and trainees. And so it's a way of life as well. So in terms of Macclesfield, or within the northwest region, rediscovering its position in the world and providing some promise for its future employees and businesses and inward investors. What are the key questions that need to be asked now? Not the ones we already know, that's dead easy. You can copy, Silicon Valley, and you could give all of your income away to multinationals. You could copy Liverpool, which is celebrating its successful 10 years on since its capital of culture. But what have you got here amongst the people that live and work here, which is distinctive? And then in terms of the young people we haven't even met yet, what are they going to do which hasn't been thought of? What can they think of which no one else has thought of? And I think that is critical when we think about encouraging curiosity and experiment. And it doesn't matter what discipline you come from, whether it's engineering, science, maths, or art. But if you haven't got curiosity and you're not prepared to take a risk and experiment, you're not going to learn anything. all you're going to do is repeat history. So just walking through very briefly in my nice dry socks, you can see on the ground floor that there are a range of artist, designer, engineer experiments. And clearly that in terms of the romantic vision of what engineering or art would have been 150, 200 years ago, we've now reached a point where we can think much more openly across the disciplines and across sectors. And this is also, of course, a moment when commerce and art try to get closer together. But I also, I went to art college, I'm a filmmaker by trade. I also know that really artists are given a particular kind of license to ask questions that no one else is allowed. And if we think about that in a political context, outside of Macclesfield or the northwest of England, maybe that's the Middle East or South Asia, Indonesia or somewhere else, clearly that art has still got this way of coming in a very left field way. And I always have to just kind of remind myself that that's dead important. This year in 2018, we will celebrate 10 years of the Capital of Culture. Liverpool and Liverpool City region have made a significant investment in arts and culture as a driver of tourism and economy. And within that year, FACT will do 2 projects I just want to very briefly point at. One is called The Future World of Work, which is open, and we are going to be having work-placed residencies, thinking broadly about what work means now. So that could be a care home for people who are suffering with Alzheimer's. It could be a self-directed residency on a delivery bike or an Uber driver. It might be Jaguar in Halewood or Unilever or BBC R&D. So thinking very broadly about what work means. And that's, of course, embracing domestic labour and also thinking about being a mum. So there will be a whole range of residencies that will get advertised for artists in the region. And also we've commissioned an LA-based artist, Liz Magic Laser, to do a 6-month residency in Liverpool with us, to think about automation, cybernetics, the gig economy, precarity, globalisation and deglobalisation. And this sits together with the Uniglobal Conference, which is an international conference on trade union futures. The second project is called Rewire. In 1848, a reservoir was built on the top of the hill between Dingle and Toxteth, on the edge of the city. And using a gravity feed, 2 million gallons of water were provided to give sanitation to an increasing population into Liverpool, primarily from Ireland, Wales and Scotland, people looking for work and food. So this is also a tale of migration. And we will be working with Invisible Flock from Leeds, who make technologised, performative, immersive work. 4 artists from Indonesia and 2 artists from India. That will be in September. And this is a very sort of light invitation. So we're awfully close. It took me 20 minutes to get from here, from Manchester to Macclesfield this morning. It's like 30 minutes to Liverpool, thereabouts. So if we think regionally and think about how we can join all the assets that we've got together, it will be more fun. And I think I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you.